Taylor had worked in law enforcement. She had a good reputation, was a nice person, didn't have really any enemies.
What did Taylor have going on in her life at the time that she went missing?
Had already gone through a divorce with her ex-husband, Jeff. She was moving in with her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller. Cassandra started receiving texts back from Taylor's phone that she needed some time to think. You know, we're talking a substantial amount of money, nearly $100,000. Here we get a call back from the team lead out there, advised they did in fact find human remains.
We know we have one lie based on the cell phone records. Now we have a motive for something if Taylor has indeed been harmed.
Early on in the relationship, Taylor had stepped out on Cassandra with someone else.
Immediately upon depositing the money, it was spent within 24 hours.
We had no body, and moving forward with a no-body homicide is a difficult case to prove.
I believe she's out of the farm, somewhere out there. We just needed to find her.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Pensacola, Florida, where the disappearance of a private investigator raised a lot of questions. As detectives searched for those answers, they uncovered a truth so twisted it made them wonder how anyone could be so depraved. It was Sunday, September the 10th, when a woman named Cassandra Waller reached out to the Pensacola Police Department. She wanted to report her girlfriend, Taylor Wright, as missing. What did Taylor have going on in her life at the time that she went missing?
She was moving in with her girlfriend, Cassandra Waller. Had already gone through a divorce with her ex-husband, Jeff, and was still had some civil case going over finances.
The case had an upcoming court date, and Taylor was extremely stressed about it. To help lift the cloud of anxiety, she made plans with her best friend on Friday.
Taylor was scheduled to go hang out with her friend Ashley.
Cassandra said that Ashley came over around lunchtime, and the two left shortly after. She tried to check in with Taylor a few hours later.
She was calling to check up, see how everything was going, and Taylor was not answering the phone, wasn't responding to text messages.
She didn't get a response from Taylor, so she started reaching out to Ashley and called Ashley.
And what did Ashley tell her?
Ashley answered and told Cassandra that Taylor was riding a horse at the time and was unavailable to speak.
Cassandra said she felt better knowing Taylor was having fun. But by 7 p.m., when she still hadn't heard from her, she reached out to Ashley again to see where they were. This time, Ashley seemed worried and said Taylor had left her house hours earlier, and then she dropped a bombshell.
So Ashley went on to explain that Taylor was acting different and had an extra phone with her that she had not previously seen. She had a duffel bag with her.
Cassandra said she didn't understand what was going on until an hour later when she finally heard from Taylor.
Cassandra started receiving texts back from Taylor's phone that she needed some time to think.
Even though she couldn't understand why Taylor would want time away from her, Cassandra knew her girlfriend's mind wasn't in the best place and remembered a conversation from a few months earlier.
Taylor had made mention, based on her law enforcement experience and private investigation work, that if she wanted to disappear, that no one could find her.
Cassandra said she wanted to tread lightly and give Taylor the space she was asking for.
But after days continued to pass, she grew more concerned.
By Sunday, when no one in Taylor's circle had seen or heard from her, Cassandra called the police for help. Taylor Wright was officially declared a missing person.
We're talking a substantial amount of money, nearly $100,000. Jeff felt he was entitled to a portion of. Taylor felt she was entitled to all.
Detectives investigating the disappearance of 33-year-old Taylor Wright learned as much as they could about her.
The Taylor had previously worked in law enforcement. She had a good reputation, was a nice person, didn't have really any enemies.
After going through a messy divorce and losing custody of her son, Taylor met Cassandra Waller. They had been dating 6 months, but things had heated up quickly.
The two of them had just moved in together, and as far as Cassandra knew, everything was fine and there was no issues between her and Taylor.
Investigators went to the last person who saw Taylor that day, her best friend, Ashley. The two were close, bonding over their past careers in law enforcement.
Taylor Wright was a law enforcement officer in Jacksonville, and Ashley McArthur had worked with the Escambia County Sheriff's Department as a crime scene investigator.
Detectives asked Ashley to walk them through that day. She said she was trying to take Taylor's mind off everything, so they went horseback riding.
They had went to Ashley's family farm over in Milton, Florida, which it's a good drive, probably about 45 minutes to the east of where they actually were.
Ashley said after that, they drove back to her house. Taylor told her she wanted to go out because she still needed something to calm her nerves.
She just said that she wanted to go have a beer and that she was going to get an Uber to take her to go have a beer. And I said, well, I can just drop you back off at your car. And she's like, well, I don't want to drive.
Ashley then revealed why Taylor had been stressed and upset that day. The upcoming court hearing was about money that Taylor had taken out of a joint bank account during her divorce. It all stemmed from a car accident Taylor had been in years before she got married. She got a large cash settlement from it and felt like the money belonged to her, so she withdrew it from the account and tried to hide it with friends.
And how did the conversation come up with her leaving the money at your house?
She just asked me if I would keep it.
And how did that go? Yeah, okay, or?
I mean, she was always there, so I mean, I really didn't mind it.
Ashley told detectives she knew keeping a large amount of cash at her home wasn't ideal, but it seemed like the best option.
Taylor wanted to get a safety deposit box initially, but she didn't want her name or anything to be on anything that Jeff could find.
Sure.
So I was like, we'll just keep it and give it to you or whatever.
Jeff filed a lawsuit, and a judge ordered her to present the money in court. Ashley said Taylor was angry and upset. She blamed Jeff for everything that happened in her marriage and divorce, especially losing custody of their son.
The way that she put everything to me was like she was just trying to get her life together, to get her kid, to get back on her feet, and that Jeff had done so much, to her to take away all of this money that she had and everything else.
Ashley said the last time she saw Taylor put the cash in a duffel bag and walked out the door. Ashley said she didn't know where Taylor was headed. Investigators reached out to Taylor's ex-husband, Jeff Wright, who was living in North Carolina.
Detective Gigliotti spoke to Jeff Wright, and he had said, hey, I hadn't seen her, hadn't heard from her.
Not only did Jeff say he hadn't spoken with Taylor, he said their son hadn't heard from her either, which was odd.
It was common for Taylor to speak to her child just about nightly or every other day, and there had been no contact with Taylor and her child.
Jeff admitted that he was angry with Taylor over the large amount of money she had taken from their account.
We're talking a substantial amount of money, nearly $100,000 that was withdrawn that Jeff felt he was entitled to a portion of. Taylor felt she was entitled to all. And so there was some level of contentious divorce or separation.
But he said he would never harm Taylor since she was the mother of his child. Jeff told police he was nowhere near Pensacola on September the 8th. He was in the military and working in North Carolina.
It was easy to rule Jeff out. He's active duty at the time, so called there, talked to his command, and they tell us that he was on base at the time, but she went missing.
Investigators wondered if Taylor would eventually show up at his home and told him to be on the lookout. The missing persons case seemed to stall until a phone call came in that changed the course of the investigation.
We know we have one lie based on the cell phone records.
It was uncovered that early on in the relationship, Taylor had stepped out on Cassandra with someone else.
A week into the investigation, Taylor's best friend, Ashley McArthur, called police to say she wanted to tell them something she hadn't originally shared. It was about Taylor's relationship with Cassandra.
It was uncovered that early on in the relationship that Taylor had stepped out on Cassandra with someone else.
Detectives wondered if the affair with the other woman had something to do with Taylor's disappearance. They turned their attention back to Cassandra Waller. She was adamant she had nothing to hide and agreed to let detectives search her home. And when you searched her home, what did you find?
We recovered a $17,000, I believe, uncashed cashier's check, and several other odd items. I believe we found like a birth certificate or a social security card, just things that you would, if you were to disappear, you might take with you.
Although there was no evidence of a crime, at this point, Cassandra seemed convinced that a girlfriend was never coming home.
But Taylor has never not called me back around. And I started thinking, like, all these people are like, how do we know who even Taylor?
Cassandra's alibi was solid, and she was ultimately cleared of any wrongdoing. A few weeks later, Taylor's cell phone records came back. When detectives checked her activity on September the 8th, they were shocked.
We kept getting these tower hits up in Beulah Cantonment area, which is kind of northwest Escambia County.
The area was more than 30 minutes away from Milton, Florida, where Ashley McArthur had said she and Taylor were riding horses that day. It was a major red flag.
We know we have one lie based on the cell phone records.
The new location turned out to be another property owned by Ashley's family. Investigators didn't know why she would lie, but now that she did, they wondered what else she had lied about. Detectives tried to retrace her steps in the days after Taylor's disappearance and noticed her phone kept pinging at that family farm.
It's making us think, okay, she keeps going out here. Why does she keep going out here? What's the deal?
And there was much more that investigators uncovered. Ashley's bank records showed that the money Taylor had given her had not been kept in cash at her home after all. There was a cashier's check in Taylor's name for $34,000 that Ashley had deposited in her own bank account.
Immediately upon depositing the money, it was basically spent within 24 hours. It was transferred to various other accounts that were at the bank, whether it be Ashley's personal account, Ashley's business account. They paid like credit cards with it.
It was all starting to add up. Taylor had the upcoming court case and needed her money back, but it was gone. The evidence was beginning to point to one sad conclusion.
I'm convinced that she's dead, and I believe Detective Gigliotti believed that as well.
Detectives got a search warrant for the family property on Britt Road and brought Ashley in for more questioning.
Our thought process was, okay, we need to keep her occupied as long as we possibly can. This place is massive. Obviously, our hope is to find Taylor. I believe she's out of the farm, somewhere out there. We just needed to find her.
About an hour and a half into the interview, detectives confronted Ashley with the cell tower maps and the fact that she had lied about her location that day.
What are y'all doing out there at this farm? We know y'all were there.
Ashley gave them a story about picking up something Taylor had stored there. Detectives weren't buying it and turned up the heat.
So you're the only one that was with her on this day at this farm that you did not disclose to us?
I didn't do anything
Let
to
me
her.
tell you this, if she's at that farm, we're going to find her because we're executing a search warrant out there right now.
That's fine, but she's not going to be there.
Then where's she at?
I don't know where she
Where's
is.
her body at?
I don't know where she is.
She's dead though. You
I
know
don't
that?
believe that.
So she crosses her legs, puts her hands underneath her thighs, crossing her arms, basically trying to do whatever she can to distance herself from me to where she probably feels safe again.
Don't let us tell your story. Because this is gonna tell us what happened. Don't let us tell something that may not be true. Tell us what happened.
I think at this point I need an attorney because it seems to me that y'all think that I did something to her.
Detectives had no choice but to end the interview, and since the search team hadn't found anything, they also had to let Ashley McArthur walk out the door a free woman.
We had no body, and moving forward with a no body homicide is a difficult case to prove. So we released her, and we made sure that we had a surveillance team available to watch her residence in the event that she would try to flee.
Detectives called the field team to let them know what had happened. So what did you say to the supervisor on the phone?
Please, y'all be thorough. She's got a history as a crime scene tech. She's had weeks to cover up this crime if one was committed.
While Detective Ugliotti's talking to him, someone in the background says, "Hey, I think we have something."
Seconds felt like hours. We get a call back from the team lead out there and advise they did in fact find human remains.
Pensacola detectives sat by the phone waiting to find out what was found at Ashley McArthur's family farm.
Seconds felt like hours. A few minutes later, we get a call back from the team lead out there and advise they did in fact find human remains.
The body had been hidden under a layer of concrete, soil, and tree limbs. Also found inside the shallow grave was Taylor Wright's signature bullet necklace.
I got chills. I got chill bumps. Like, okay, we were right. We followed evidence like we were taught to do, and it led us right to where we needed to be.
The medical examiner confirmed it was Taylor and that she had died from a gunshot wound to the head. Police arrested Ashley McArthur outside her home and brought her back to the station.
And I went in and notified her that she was being charged with first-degree premeditated murder of her best friend. And she looked at me with no emotion and responded that she didn't do anything.
Investigators believe that McArthur lured Taylor to her family farm and then shot her in the back of the head.
When Taylor came back to get the money, it was gone. It was long gone, long spent. I mean, Ashley knew she was on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars, and she knew she spent it. So we believe that Taylor threatened her with criminal action, and so she felt no other option but to kill her.
2 years after the murder of Taylor Wright, Ashley McArthur went to trial and was found guilty of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in a Florida state prison. And now it's time for today's Safety Spotlight. All too often, money and greed are motives for murder. To help reduce your chances of meeting with foul play, safety experts recommend you secure your money wisely, using a bank account, a safety deposit box, or a credit union. Avoid keeping large quantities of money in your home or giving it to friends or family for safekeeping. And finally, if you're in the process of a divorce and concerned about how to protect your money and assets, consult with a finance protection attorney who can provide you with solutions and guidance. And most of all, use common sense when protecting your personal property. It could save you money, aggravation, and most importantly, it could save your life. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.